What up, blockheads? What's up? Person on their phone, not paying attention. I don't know what the dude in the work truck there was, looked like he was getting all upset about something. Anyways, on today's episode, whenever there is a new bike added to the garage, I usually go over reasoning why I chose that bike. Whenever I got the Iron 883, I basically made a video talking about why I chose that bike, so dude. And then I got the R6, and I made a video about why I chose the R6. I got the Lowrider S, made a video for that. Got the CBR. I don't think I've made a video for the CBR. This video is going to be going over reasoning as to why I chose the Harley Sportster 48. Anyways, yeah, why did I choose the Harley Sportster 48? So much as with the other videos that I've made regarding why I purchased, why I chose a certain bike, number one reason I always focus on is it financially viable to basically be able to pick up this bike? And the answer, since I have it and the bike is beneath me right now and I'm riding it, is yes. So reason number one that I chose it was the price. And this is something that I talk about a lot in a couple of the other videos, you know, saying how like financing is incredibly important. You know, finances rather are incredibly important. You know, you shouldn't bite off more than you can chew, and you should basically be able to obviously like support yourself, and with a motorcycle comes other responsibilities such as having to pay for insurance, having to pay for maintenance, having to pay for gear, etc., etc. But the actual cost of the bike is one of the reasons that I chose and I ended up purchasing this bike. I went onto Craigslist. It's a 2010. It has, dude, like I think whenever I got it, it had below 1,800 miles on it. We've put like, dude, have we put that many miles on it? No, it had right at 1,800 miles on it. Anyways, yeah, the reason I purchased it is because it was a stupid good deal. And this kind of goes back to buying new versus buying used. I've bought all my motorcycles used, and they've all been like really great deals. Sorry, I haven't bought all my bikes used. I bought the Lowrider S new. That's because whenever I went to go search for used ones, there were no used ones. And it was also only made for 2 years, so... Anyways, yeah, the price, huge factor in it, right? Got a hell of a deal on it, and it attracted me to the bike. Now, I mean, you can find used Sportsters on Craigslist, on Cycle Trader, all day. I mean, as of right now, between like, I mean, really good condition too, between like $4,000 and $6,000. I was looking for a bike, a Sportster, specifically within a certain price range. This met that price range, so I bought it. I was looking at other Sportsters, but I wanted to focus on engine as well, which brings up the number two reason why I purchased the Harley 48 was the engine size, the 1200, and also the engine it's built on, or the engine is what they call the Evolution engine, introduced in 1984. It's been rock solid. I mean, they've been putting them in Sportsters for a long time. I mean, obviously since 84, they've had more than enough time to work the kinks out of them. They don't really have problems. They're easy to work on, and yeah, super reliable engine. People refer to them as tanks or anvils, basically saying like you can't break them. So really super good engines, really super reliable, and the displacement being a 1200 is one of the reasons I went with it. I previously owned an 883. Are you guys gonna stop? Yes. Okay, cool. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I previously owned an 883. That bike was a lot of fun to ride. Whenever I first got it, it was basically like my introductory bike, introductory Harley. And then was looking for another Sportster. Basically was like, all right, let's do a 1200 instead of having to buy an 883 and then do a 1200 conversion, because that costs an extra like $2,000 or something. It's a little pricey. But yeah, the engine size, the engine quality, reliability is one of the reasons. You know, those Blockhead engines, man, they're just good. I mentioned it in a couple videos previously also, but the channel was basically started because whenever I got the Iron 883, the original name for the engine is Evolution, but they basically, people call it a nickname, right? So you had like the pan head, the flat head, the iron head, the shovel head, etc., etc. Well, the Evolution engine, they started calling the Blockhead, but it didn't stick because it just had an already easy name, being Evolution. So yeah, people didn't really call it the Blockhead anymore. So I was like, you know what? That's a cool name. I like it. Bam. That's where the name of the channel came from. Third reason, because, dude, the Harley 48 looks great. That rhymed. Yeah, the style of the 48, so I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but they actually designed it after bikes from 1948. With the small peanut tank, the wire wheels, the really low like clearance from the ground, so it's, you know, a lower bike, which, dude, you try to put it up on like a freaking lift or a motorcycle stand, it's kind of a pain. Got to bust out the wood blocks. But yeah, the bigger tires, it's just a great looking bike, especially for what Miss Block and I want to do to it, which is build it out into a bobber. So that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, the bike, it just looks great. The aesthetics of it, man, love it. I've liked the I mean, the Sportster line has been awesome for a long time. So yeah, aesthetics definitely attracted me to it originally, and it's one of the big reasons that I chose it. This is the second worst place on earth. First worst place being Walmart. Alright, we're going to continue this episode in just a second. Be right back. You need to clean up your Escalade, bro. It's a little dirty. It's a lot of dirty. So what was it talking about? The last one was looks, right? Yeah, looks. Aesthetically, it is a great looking bike. You can bob it, chop it, slice it, dice it, julienne it. So, aesthetics, yeah. That's what initially attracts people to bikes, right? And my background with having owned the 883, you know, when it came down to it, I was contemplating between picking up the 883 or picking up the 48. I ended up going with the 883 because it had mid controls and I was more comfortable with those at the time. Now, with having had a couple of different bikes, I like the forwards. These are nice. And on my lowrider S, they're slightly forward mids, so they're not quite mids, but slightly forward. They're more like here instead of here. But I do like the forward controls, they're nice. Fourth reason why I chose the Harley 48 is because of the modability and the aftermarket options. Since it's a Harley Sportster, the aftermarket options for it are absolutely endless, as you can tell. Miss Block and I already installed the bars, so there's some bars on here, Z-bars. We've got LED Daymaker style headlight, a little headlight grill for it. I bought it with the Springer seat already on there. We're going to change that out. Just not such a fan of it. It's not really that comfortable. I mean, it's okay for like shorter distance, but man, it is a little rough. Going over bumps and stuff, there's just not really any absorption to it. I don't know how people ride hardtails, man. Like this seat and then no suspension. I don't know how you guys do that stuff. That's crazy. But yeah, the amount of modifications that you can do to a Harley Sportster is just totally endless. I mean, air cleaners, bars, you can do different tanks, headlights, gauges, controls. I mean, you can get like swing, we're gonna get a swing arm bag for it. There's just so many different directions that you can take the Harley Sportster. You know, I've seen people build them out into cafe racers, choppers, trackers. You know, Dan the fireman built his out, and it's like an off-roader, which is freaking awesome. They're just so malleable and you can go so many different directions with them. So that's actually a big reason why I choose a lot of my bikes. You know, I like it to be, what's the word, I don't know, have a couple different paths that we can go with it, because it's one of the things like you want to do with bikes is you want to customize it, you want to make it your own. And so with this platform, with the Sportster line, you can do that just because there's so many manufacturers out there that, you know, have parts for them. So huge reason why we bought it. And the fifth reason went with the Sportster. Actually, I guess just to preface all of that, one of the main reasons is because it's what Miss Block was looking into also. She was coming off of her Honda Rebel 250, and she's actually still riding that. She's starting to learn this bike. She doesn't want to just jump right on it and do like a big old long trip. She wants to, you know, get more comfortable with it and kind of grow into it, which is awesome. It's responsible, and I can appreciate that. Yeah, so one of the main reasons is because it was something that she was looking into and wanting. I originally bought it for the Blockhead bike build, you know, to build it out and give it away. But then I was like, you know, she needs a bike. She's looking to upgrade, and it was time. So it's going to be Miss Blockhead's bike instead of a Blockhead bike build. So the fifth reason we chose it is because it's easy to work on. It's one of those bikes that, like, maintenance isn't an arm and a leg. I mean, if you go to Harley and you get like all synthetic fluids and I don't know, you can definitely make maintenance be very expensive, but to maintain it ourselves, it's a pretty bare bones bike. It doesn't have like a bunch of bells and whistles. There's no cruise control on it. There's no ABS, so it's not something that we have to worry about like going wrong or anything like that. It's why it's such a reliable, you know, like very solid bike. It's because it's simple, but it's enough. It's what you need, you know. So yeah, I mean, reliability definitely being one of the reasons as well. We can do all of our own work to it, you know. We can change out the exhaust, we can change the brake lines if we want without having to go to the manufacturer and getting them to use a computer to like open the brake calipers or some craziness like that. I know with like some more expensive bikes, you know, like Ducatis, Aprilias and stuff like that, you've got to actually go to the dealership to do certain things because their computers are the only things that can basically like do it or unlock it. But yeah, we're gonna bob it out, do a lot of how-to videos on it. If you guys want to follow along, hit the subscribe button. Anyways, yeah, those are a couple of reasons, you know. It's in great shape for a used bike. I mean, it's a 2010, super low mileage on it. It was cheap. Insurance is cheap. It's built on a solid platform with the Evo/Blockhead engine. It's got good displacement at 1200 cc's, so a decent amount of power. It's incredibly moddable, so you've got lots of awesome aftermarket options for it, and you can work on it yourself. The Sportsters, man, they're solid bikes. I had the 883 for a while, loved it, worked on it a lot, ended up upgrading to a 2017 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S. And man, that bike's a lot of fun too. Even after having a Dyna Lowrider S 110 cubic inch, went and bought another Sportster. So this thing's a lot of fun to ride. I would totally own another one of these, like, for myself. Like I was saying, this is considered Miss Block's bike. She's deciding on what mods to put on it and basically how to build it out. Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with the channel and you're interested in all that, we do film the how-to videos and all that stuff and post them up and walk you guys through it. So if you want to follow along, is he on the ground? Anyways, yeah, like I said, if you guys are thinking about picking one up, post up in the comments below. Let me know your reasoning as to why you were leaning towards, or you're going to choose the Harley-Davidson Sportster 48. I'm going to go ahead and end it off there, but if you guys enjoyed the episode, be sure to hit the like button. If you guys aren't subscribed already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell icon while you're over there so it sends you notifications of future uploads. If you guys want to get some behind the scenes, like, we've been putting up a lot of pictures of this bike as we're building it out weeks before we post it up anywhere else on Patreon. So it's kind of like you guys get some exclusive access to pictures that we don't post up anywhere else. You know, we don't post them on Instagram because Instagram photos got to be purty, right? So yeah, if you guys want some behind the scenes access, some exclusive photos, exclusive videos, be sure to check out patreon.com/Blockhead Moto. Until next time, you guys ride safe out there. Stay vigilant. And I'll catch you guys later. Oh man, a red light. And a cop. Well, I'm not going to be speeding up doing deuces, so. Deuces.